Trump taking control of the straits and being able to direct where the money from the oil sales goes improves the probability we get a good outcome politically in Iran.
Yeah.
Because that money can go to the people who actually want to,
yeah. Well, just like Venezuela, they will give you an economy again. You'll have an economy. You'll be able to prosper again. And speaking of prosper, like, I don't think people understand, like, if all this happens and on the track it's going, how much prosperity will come back here to our country. Yes. Like, we don't know. None of us have lived it. Like, what America's really like when it's doing its thing.
Yep.
Like, we've gotten glimpses, but man, most of us have just been in like this City of London blanket. We don't even know the fog we've been living in, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
We have no idea. Because the chaos premium on the global economy, I refer everybody to an article that Peter Navarro wrote the other day that was in the Wall Street Journal. Susan Kokinda talked about it in one of her recent videos. You can find it. It's not very hard. It's like the $10 trillion tax on global economy by Peter Navarro. Just Peter Navarro, $10 trillion Wall Street Journal. Go find it on archive.ph, because don't give fucking Rupert Murdoch your fucking dollars. Fuck that guy. So, read that. Don't read the money part of it, the numbers part of it. The numbers part of it is just like an argument, right? It's a way to make the argument real for you. This is an a priori argument, a qualitative argument about the chaos premium that exists as a tax on the entire global economy. And look at the mechanisms that he goes through. He's right about it. He's not even going into all of it, because he's trying to keep it as simple as possible for the crayon eaters that read the Wall Street Journal. So, but for the rest of us, like, understand the British arm both sides of a conflict. Yeah. Okay, they pay the pirates, they raise the navies, and then they tax the shippers and the investors of the shippers through the insurance agencies. Lloyd's of London, I have it on very good authority. I've talked to people about this. They're like, there are no actuaries at Lloyd's of London. There are no risk assessments.
That's wild.
I mean, there probably are a few, but I mean,
but I get what you're saying.
That company, for example, is just a classic example of a thing that's been running on autopilot for years. And they've literally just run on by calling across the Thames to GCHQ, asking MI6 where they're going to attack next, and then set their rates based on that. And they just play this game of playing both sides against the middle and pulling a VIG off of the chaos. And they control the Brent crude contract, and then they use that advanced knowledge to move the price of oil around, pre-position themselves in the oil markets, the silver markets, the gold markets, the dollar markets, all the Forex markets. This is their game, and this is their source of their power. Okay, the rest of their power is irrelevant. You take all those levers away from them, and they are nothing. They are literally the shadow empire. They're the shadows from Babylon 5 without the big fucking ships with the spinal lasers. They're just a bunch. They're just Mr. Morden without his shadow. He's nobody. Like, that's what you have to realize. We're living in that world, and so because of that, we have no idea what we're actually capable of.
Yes. Well, we're seeing all already with the military.
Is literally all of our profit as human beings, and we're just asked to sit on the fucking hamster wheel while they destroy us all. And fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a lot with like watching your daughter. And like what she's, my kid, my oldest is 18 and he hasn't got out into the world yet. He's autistic, still finishing high school. But so I haven't lived that yet, but you've talked about your daughter and all she's got to go up against compared to like even you. And then, but even you like didn't live in the prosperous economy that is meant for us. I go back, I did a deep dive study about a year and a half ago. And I studied from basically Washington till the advent of the Federal Reserve. So first president to 1913. And, it was regularly deflation every year because goods and technology, just everything kept getting cheaper. Yeah, it was like
That's the natural state of affairs. In a
exactly.
natural economy is that there's a natural
Mhm.
rate of deflation, and in
Yes.
order for business ventures to be profitable, you've
Mhm.
got to create an arbitrage of a new technology that people are willing to
Yes.
pay a premium for, and
Mhm.
then competition grinds that arbitrage out, and the next great
Yep.
advancement, and the next great advancement, and the next great
Mhm.
advancement,
That's what
and
it
that's
should
the way
be.
it's supposed to work. And
Yes.
the purchasing power of the currency is supposed to go, or the money is supposed to go
Mhm.
up. Now,
Yes.
there is a limit when you're dealing with physical currency,
Mhm.
be it
Sure.
banknotes or this,
Yeah.
and this is where I finally, as an Austrian, really began to understand why their obsession with the money supply
Mm.
side of the quantity theory of money
Mm.
was incomplete. And they didn't listen to their fucking founder, von Mises, who, when you go read the quantity theory of money Wikipedia page, has a criticism of the quantity theory of money by Ludwig von Mises, which is that we spend too much time looking at the supply side of it and not the demand side
Mm.
of money. So I want you to understand that it's about resolution of comparisons. That's all money is. It's a
Mhm.
thing that helps us
Yeah.
resolve the comparisons between this mouse and
That
this
we've
empty
all
can,
agreed upon so
right?
that
And that's it. That's it.
yep.
That's all this is, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this can is worth, I don't know, a fucking half a penny or whatever in the
Mhm.
aluminum that's it's made out of. There we go.
H-1B
And
Zoom.
the mouse is worth whatever it's worth, right? And
Mhm.
now we have to figure out how we're gonna like trade those two things, or how many of those cans do I have to give you in order to get your mouse? There's probably no way of dealing with that. But it's a
Mhm.
bad example because it's just the shit I've got in front of me. But at some point, technology drops the drop drops the cost of
Mhm.
making certain things
Yeah.
below the resolution level of the money. How
Mm.
many, i.e., how finely you can subdivide a piece of silver or a piece of
Mm.
gold, or then you have to issue like credit notes. Then so what has to happen is either the resolution of the money has to improve,
Mm.
or you have to inflate the number of monetary units in existence
Gotcha. Okay.
to resolve those things, to resolve those comparisons.
Mhm.
Because when it gets down to the point where somebody walks into a tractor supply and says, I need one fucking screw, like, how do I buy one screw? Now, thankfully, not Ace Hardwares. Thankfully, Ace Hardwares do have those, and they're usually hideously expensive compared to their actually production costs. But
Yeah, yeah.
they cost 0.1 cents to make, then they charge you 10 cents because fuck it, they're 10 cents. I don't care. Like, it's couch money, right?
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
getting away with a ridiculous profit margin. But if there was a way for the dollar to have 7 zeros behind the decimal
Mm.
point, ooh,
There you go.
that
Yeah.
thing might not be 9 cents. Or
Mhm.
the truth is that in order to get that screw to that Ace Hardware in Central Tennessee, it costs 0.1 cents to make the fucking thing, but it costs 8.9 cents to get the thing into, and they're not still not making any money at 9 cents,
Yeah,
you know?
ship it.
And like, so then you're just like, you know what I mean? Like, at some
Mhm.
point,
Yeah.
all of that is, factored into the cost. But
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
is why Bitcoin becomes interesting, why digital money becomes interesting, because
Mhm.
digital money, if
Fractional.
we ever get to
Mhm.
the point where the SAT needs to be subdivided,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
we can do that. We can
Yeah.
write a bit protocol and then add 8 more zeros to it and make the SAT the new Bitcoin and move on.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like,
No, it makes a lot of sense. I didn't consider
we
that.
can either express the deflation by having
Mhm.
a more finely resolved monetary system,
Mhm.
or we have to expand the monetary system. And
Man.
that's a fundamental argument. People need to wrap their fucking
Yeah,
heads
that's
around it.
interesting. That
Yeah,
makes me wonder if that's one of the
'cause
reasons
I got
why
there in 2008. Like, I
yeah.
hit this point in 2008, and at that point, I was like, "Oh, yeah, now I understand what's going on." And
Well, it makes
y
sense. I mean, yeah, I mean, what you just said kind of blew my mind. I'm gonna have to think about it, but
Mhm,
to me, it like that makes even more sense to me why Trump is embracing crypto so much
Yes.
Well, at the same time, also saying like we want to get back to what is it, the 1890s? He's like the most prosperous time ever in America with
Yeah.
the
No,
tariffs
he
and
wants
stuff.
to get rid of the income tax and
Yeah.
reform the Fed and all that shit. Because he's already said it.
Hmm.
Like we get rid of the friggin' look, dude. If we get rid of all the waste and the fraud, and I've known
Oh my
this
God.
since
Yeah. Hmm.
before Trump was reelected, because
Yeah.
I've been chatting with guys who were close to the organization, who close, uh, that and they were all part of the transition team.
Hmm.
I've having had some patrons and having
Hmm.
in,
Sure. Sure.
interface with a lot of people over the last few
Yeah.
years. I wound up and being me, like they tell me shit. They tell me shit. They're like, they were telling me back in 2023. They're like,
Wow.
we've already identified the $2 trillion we're going to cut out of the
Oh,
budget.
wow. That's
We already
interesting.
know where the money is.
That's the exact number Elon used too
Yeah, oh,
when he
yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah.
you
By the
know,
way, and that number was they already knew that before Musk even got involved. Like
mm,
in some ways, all they did was they instantiated Doge with Elon to
mhm.
create processes by which they could find even more waste
Well,
and
see,
fraud,
and okay,
and put the protocols in
thank
place
you.
to make sure that it never comes back
That
because
is
they already identified
exactly
it all ages ago.
yes, that's exactly what I've been saying because there's again, like everything God, I hate the word psyop, but there's no other word for all
Yeah,
this
there really
crap
is no
out
other
there.
word for this shit.
It's like that's another one with Doge, that Doge didn't accomplish anything. I'm like, you're telling me these computer geeks got in there behind the scenes for months and there's no results from that? No. Yeah, of course they can't go through Congress, but what we're doing, because Congress is still completely beholden, and I say there's maybe 10 good Republicans in Congress. The rest are
Because they
still
stole 40 fucking House seats and 5 Senate seats.
yes,
They knew
absolutely.
they couldn't
Yeah.
stop Trump's
Hmm.
reelection, so
Yep.
they immediately moved to a give him a fake majority in both houses
Hmm.
again strategy.
Yeah, well, I think they tried to steal the house. That was close.
They
Remember, we waited like 3 days to find out, but I think
I
Trump held it
like
off. But
on election night on November 5th.
yeah.
I love the fact that Trump was reelected on Guy Fawkes Day, by the way. I
Oh
think that's
no, I
fucking
know. Yeah,
hilarious,
I would
right?
watch some V for Vendetta.
Right.
The
And I just said I looked at them. Oh, they're gonna leave us with about 3 to 5 seats in the House. I don't think they can. I don't think they can
Mhm.
steal the House, but they're gonna leave us with a
They were
fake
trying.
majority. And
Yeah,
then
I
they're gonna
agree.
work. And then they're gonna work throughout the first 2 terms to like we'll cleave that one
Mhm.
off. We'll cleave this one off because they're doing the
Yeah.
same shit in fucking Canada. They've been
Oh,
doing the
yeah.
same shit over in Britain. They've done it. I've
Mhm.
watched them do this same fucking
Yeah.
thing in 7 or 8 different goddamn countries around the world. It's
Yes.
nothing new.
No.
When they lose, they never stop. These fucking
Mhm.
people.
No, they don't. They
So
well, and that's the thing. It's like they're going to even if they get completely destroyed, they're also going to regroup and they're going to infiltrate again. They'll just
no, they're
they're,
not.
they're
Because we're
cockroaches. Oh,
going to kill all. We're going to
yeah,
kill all of their
that's
money,
what I was
and
gonna
then
get to.
and
Yeah.
then we're going to erase them from fucking history
Yeah, that's what I
because
was gonna
they
get
were
to. We have
offered an
to
off
yeah,
ramp. I
yeah.
think Trump offered them the off
I
ramp
think
by
he did.
saying, "Let's
Yeah,
bury the fucking
Davos?
Epstein files,"
Mhm. Yeah,
and
yeah.
he offered them the off ramp, and they said, "No, fight, fuck
Mhm.
you. We're going to fight. We're
Yeah,
going to war." You're like, "Okay,
yeah,
you want a war?
yeah.
What are you gonna? You can't hurt me in the Epstein files. You
Mhm.
already fucking know it. Okay, we're gonna go to war. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a
Yeah,
fucking war.
yeah.
January 2nd, I'm stealing
Oh, yeah.
Maduro.
Yeah.
2 weeks later or 4 weeks later, I'm El Mencho off the fucking board, and
Oh,
now
yeah.
and now Khamenei is gone, and
Mhm.
this fucking asshole, and that, and I
Yeah.
love the meme of oh by the way, all of these guys are dead. Have you seen the poster of the number of Iranian fucking leaders
Oh, it's
that they have
insane. Yeah.
decapitated?
Yeah, it's insane. I
Yeah.
know. It's
And Doge, yes, to the
yeah.
commenter, Doge still exists. It doesn't exist as a separate
Mhm.
department. Its processes have been
Mhm.
internalized in all the
Into
existing departments.
all the departments. Those
Yeah,
guys just went to work under each secretary
yeah.
in each department. And what we're seeing with this rollout of the fraud exposure, that's because Doge was pointing them in those directions and building the cases and everything. That's what I believe, anyways. And then, but also with Epstein, I told my audience last summer when it first happened, when Massey started demanding it, I
Mhm.
said, Trump is going to rug pull them on this.
Yes.
Watch. And what did he do in December? Oh, it's barely going to pass the House and die in the Senate. That's what it's going to look like. Nope. Hey guys, listen, just pass it. Boom. 24 hours later, pass both houses and sign. That never happens. He rug pulled them
Yeah.
because they never thought it would get through, and they could
Yep.
keep using it.
Yep.
You know.
They thought he was gonna fight it, and he was like, "Oh no, I got
Mhm.
nothing. I got nothing to fear."
Exactly.
By the way, I do the Straits of Hormuz was between Christine Lagarde's legs, dude, that's fucking hilarious. What I've been saying all week is they used to call it the Strait of Moose. Then your mom showed up.
I just saw that comment. That is funny.
That thing's fucking anybody who goes after Christine Lagarde in the fucking chat. I don't even if you're a commie, I'm good. You know, you and me can have drinks, or you know
That's unbelievable.
Oh, and Nick Shirley is absolutely a fucking Doge agent. Like, dude is getting like dude's
100%.
the biggest psyop out there.
is.
He's like
Oh, yeah.
clearly
We have him on
handed all
our
the
side too.
information, and then he goes to the place and does the thing. I'm like, you know,
23-year-old
like,
kid.
Democrats aren't the only ones who can play
Exactly.
you know, who can play
Exactly.
unfairly. By the way,
Well, that's just talking to you just keeps bringing up all the things that drive me nuts. But it's like I watch all this stuff now, and it's so obvious because I've seen the script play out so many times, and I'm like, how? I just don't understand how people keep falling for it. You know, it's like over and over and over again. It drives me insane, and which is why I listen to people like you, because I don't hear a script. You know, I find, and like even people I disagree with like, I have some disagreements with, like, say, Ian Burlingame, which I really enjoy him. But I'm like, dude, he's real, you know? And like, it's the same thing. Like, you can see the difference versus the whole like Bannon crowd, where it's just one thing flies out there and they all flock to it. You know, it's like, oh, my turn to say it. Alex Jones, freaking dude, that stuff. It's like when you start having like Nick Fuentes on as a regular consultant, there's your tell.
You're done. Like you're done. And that was the other best joke of the Iran war so far. It's like, oh, by the way, dudes, like, you're gonna die for the cause. Your 72 virgins in heaven are all Nick Fuentes.
Have you seen the ones with the new guy? Because by the way, guys, the funniest thing all week is not the memes, which are great. It's the fact that Trump lost it when he found out the guy was gay.
Like, oh my God. So, like, do you understand that, like, the IRGC jumping the shark by taking a guy who's not not the direct descendant of Muhammad and putting him in charge, and then the fact that they could be fucking gay on top of all of it? Like, do you understand that you're literally destroying Shia Islam?
Exactly.
Like, and I don't know, I know fuck all about Shia Islam, but I know that.
We know that, yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like, again, I will never put myself up there as somebody who understands any fucking thing about Islam other than the gayest hole. That's fucking hilarious. I think we all just issued fatwas against ourselves.
And to me, the idea of Trump losing it, who never loses it, to like be just dying laughing as soon as he reported to him. I'm like, that gave me great joy.
We so don't deserve him. You know, I mean, that's just the way. I mean, at the end of the day, look, if we lose, we lose. You know, one of the ways to if anybody in the audience, in the chat, we sent them 72 A10 warthogs for Ramadan. The chat's awesome, by the way. I haven't read a chat like this since my old live stream days.
They're good. They're good.
Oh my God, dude, they were off the charts. But they I was gonna say now, even if the best way to look at this, I came to this conclusion about a year and a half ago, and it really helped me get through the night and sleep better. Was that nope. But we're going to lose the country if we lose the midterms and all this crash. I'm like, how about we've already lost the country and now we're clawing our way back to get it back? If you think of it in those terms, it's a lot. It's a better mindset to be in, as opposed to sitting there going, we could lose and we can like that's their headspace.
Yeah,
their headspace is keep you negative, keep you focused on the way everything can go badly, the way everything can get fucked. You know, all this Rich Barris, Robert Barnes, fucking unbelievable fucking horse shit.
It's like, insane.
I'm like, Robert, smoke the fucking cigar, stick it up your mangina, for Christ's sake. Do some fucking thing. You fucking poser asshole.
He's awful.
He's awful.
He's so bad.
And the best part about it is, like,
it's not even entertaining.
I know. Well, one of the things I've realized over the years, right? When I hit the scene in 2016, 2017, I started like doing this again. I started writing again, public blog, all this stuff, because I could feel something was going to happen with me at Newsmax. So I'm like, I better get started here. And then I wound up getting I wound up getting, I fired from Newsmax in April or March of 2017. Well, they hired me back later, right? Which was great, but I had to go immediately. But so I started this process. It was funny how quickly, once I started the Patreon, like certain people showed up and started validating what I was doing. Okay. I got some, like, like patron 12 was David Stockman.
Oh, wow.
Really? Okay.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. Then Alistair Crook shows up.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, almost immediately. Then I get an email from Strategic Culture Foundation. We'd like you to come write for us, and I'm like, I fucking need the money, right? That led to the FBI showing up to my door at some point and asking me about my relationship with an FSB, which I knew they were an FSB backed organization, but they were paying me $150 an article. I needed the money. It was just really very quite simple, boys. I knew what the situation was, and so I would write shit that was even critical of Putin all the time, just to see how far I could go before they would like not accept the article, and they published fucking everything.
Wow.
Like they didn't even clean up the friggin' spelling errors when I turned the draft in. I was working so hard. At that point, I was writing 2, 3, 4 articles a day. It was insane. I was working 13, 14 hours a day. Oh yeah, it was
more
insane.
AI.
I did this. Oh yeah, I did this 18 hours a day, 7 days, 14 to 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 18 months.
Good Lord.
2 years, right? Okay. Those days were hard, but it was either that or starve. It was either that,
Do what you gotta do.
or that's what happened. So, but I remember like walking up and slowly but surely, all these people will come in my orbit. And I'm not particularly good at like asking people to be on my podcast. So one day I was like, okay, I'm going to see if I can get Robert Barnes on the podcast. It was during the time when we were really arguing about Section 230 and platform and everything else. And Robert agreed. And came on the podcast. We had a great talk. I asked him some questions. Okay, we did the thing. Came back on the podcast. 6 months later, we did it again. After that, paper. So what I'm telling you is that when I review the last 8 years, I realize I was being targeted for recruitment.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because people could read what I was writing, they could see what I was doing, and there were advanced scouts out there picking off the next guy who was going to climb up the ladder.
Yeah.
And then can we swerve him into our orbit and do the thing?
Yeah.
Now, the good news is that could have happened. No, the bad news is that could have easily happened. The good news is that I'm so fucking bad at business in general and business building in general and all the rest of it, and that I just go out and do my thing every day, right? I will give, and I say this all the time, I give credit to Dexter White for watching and making and mapping out all the potential threats around the horizon. He's very, very good at that. I may do 90% of the public stuff, but the reality is that this is absolutely a partnership in terms of ethos and how we do all this stuff. You see me, but behind me is the community, the thing we do, all of that stuff. It's all built around, having this tremendous group of people around me. And I mean that a lot of them are patrons. So they pay me to help me be me. And it's what helps keep me like watching everything with a weather eye and not trusting anything. So it's really funny. Like, talk about Ian Burlingame, for example. I can tell you the story because I told the story to EM. Like EM and I have chatted about this on other podcasts, which is that, at one point, EM, because email chains, my phone numbers on my email chains, and like pings me one night. It was just chatting. We were on the phone, and I'm like, EM, I'm not convinced you're not a fucking spook. Like flat out, I'm like, I think this about everybody I meet for the first time, especially somebody who comes in hot and heavy, and all of a sudden he becomes very popular very quickly, and everybody loves him. And like the first thing I do is go, how much does he blow?
To be fair, he's got that kind of like intensity too, where you
Yeah,
kind of
I mean, like, dude, and to EM's credit, he looked at me and goes, "Tommy, I wouldn't have respected you if you didn't distrust me." And EM's
that
one of the few
sounds like
people on
him.
the planet that can call me Tommy and get away with it. It's usually he only calls me Tommy when he's drunk, which is also fair. So, and again, and and this Joe Kent thing is really
Mhm.
weird for me because I don't
Yeah, sure.
want to be, I know he's a friend of these
Mhm.
guys and
Yeah.
all of that stuff, and I look at a lot of this and what's coming into my head over and over and over again since this is broken. This is to bring this. We should probably close this off
Sure.
in a couple minutes because
Yeah.
it's like it's late for you and for me.
Mhm.
Which is the following, which is that it reminds me of that sequence in The Right Stuff when Gus Grissom,
Mhm.
the 18-year-old and goes for, and goes for the gold. Like there's a certain point where all of the guys around him and all of his military friends
Yeah.
realize that he screwed the pooch.
Mhm.
And maybe, just maybe, Joe Kent was in a position that he couldn't get out, that he can't get out of or
Yeah,
couldn't get out.
absolutely. I could see
And
that for sure.
I'm willing to be generous to the guy, but at the
Mhm.
same time, at a certain point, like if he's doing X, Y, and Z,
Mhm.
is it because he has to? He's got a gun to his head. Remember, one of the heuristics everybody should use, especially going forward with Iran, is when you see when you see somebody negotiating it, and it's obviously against their own best interest. The tracksuit midget in Kiev is a classic example of this. It's
Mhm.
because somebody's got a gun to their head.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great point. Absolutely.
And
And
so we should all kind of reserve judgment on a lot of this stuff.
mhm.
I can
Yeah,
even believe
watch
that
it
about
play out.
Rand Paul. I can believe it about Thomas Massey,
Sure.
but fuck both of them. I don't give a shit. Like they're
Yeah,
both beta cucks from goddamn compromised
yeah.
Kentucky, and we need to deal with.
Well,
We
and
need
that's
to,
where,
and I'm sorry. You could have asked for fucking help, and you've chosen
yeah,
not to.
yeah, and
You've
that's where I'm at.
chosen war as
Yeah,
opposed to choosing to,
yeah.
ask Trump for help.
On that line, I completely agree with you, and, like, the way I see it, we're in war right now, and so I don't have time to feel bad for you in the middle of war. Like,
Mhm.
we could talk at the end, you
Yeah,
know? Let's see
I
where
mean,
we're at then.
at a
But
certain point, everybody has to. Everybody look. Everybody has a price,
mhm.
right? Everybody has a pain point.
Yeah.
Um, none of us are fucking perfect. None of
Mhm.
us are white knights,
No.
folks. And I don't say that, as some, like as like, oh, by the way, the rug pull's coming after, 20 minutes after we get done with this podcast with me.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is know that we're all flawed
Mhm.
people. We all have pressure points. We all have pain points that can be utilized against us. None of us are superheroes,
Mhm.
and we're all just doing our best to get through this. And when you realize how high the stakes are, and one of the things that we've tried to like outline here is how high the stakes are for the bad guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's life or
What
death.
would they do?
Yeah.
They would do
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they also don't
Right.
have morals or honor.
Well, yeah, no, of
That's the
course.
other part of it, which makes them even more dangerous. So